Okay peeps, for today's video I've prepared for you a couple of tips on what to focus on if you're a new player. We'll go over different aspects of the game and what you should be prioritizing early on. And of course I'll give alternatives both for players that prefer not to spend money on the game as well as players that do. For the beginning of the list we have to go with commanders. They are one of the essential parts of almost every game aspect. They give you a lot of bonuses and overall can make your life much easier. When starting the game, you're briefly introduced to the commander concept overall, but in my opinion that's not enough for you to understand their importance. Early on you want to be focusing on commanders that will help you grow, such as Soren or Varys for example, that will give you research speed. And when your account has grown a bit, you can then start focusing on some battle commanders and some event commanders, making synergies and so on. If you want to be free to play, that would be a really important decision, as it's going to take some time for you to gather 5 maxed out commanders to use in battle, and most likely you don't want to be wasting time upgrading something you won't be using as much. I'm sure there are a lot of guides out there on how to pick your free-to-play commander formation, so at the beginning you can follow that advice. And if you'll be spending money on the game, you should also look into the so-called synergies. Each commander has a special ability when you awaken them to 4 stars, and those abilities can synergize with each other quite well. To pick a synergy to start working towards you can also check some guides and advice from other players. And I know for a fact that the in-game guide section has a couple of guides on that exact topic, on awakening synergies. So I recommend you to check them out. The next point on our list is events. As a new player, you should try and participate in as many events as possible, and the reason for that is quite simple. You'll be getting rewards that will help you grow faster, and on top of that you'll be expanding your game knowledge significantly. After all, practice makes perfect. So at the start you may find some events a bit difficult or a bit confusing, but that shouldn't stop you, because there are a lot of experienced players that can help you out. Just don't be afraid to ask. So usually there are 2 types of events. The first one is where you play solo and grind some progress for the event's goal on your own. And the second one is team-based, where usually 2 or more alliances face each other and fight towards some goal. Of course, the team-based events give overall better rewards, but that doesn't mean you should neglect the solo events. So for quick reference, you can be occasionally checking the events tab, the calendar section, for everything that's upcoming within a week. Here you can find all the events. And if something isn't listed here, it's either in the events tab section or it's in the cross server page next to the events tab. You can check the events here as well. The third point on the list is rebel leaders. No matter if you're a new player or an experienced one, you should be doing your rebel leader hits daily. That helps both the alliance you're in and yourself. By killing rebels daily, you'll be also upgrading your gear and therefore making your account much stronger. So if you're not sure what commander formation to use against a certain rebel, you can always ask or check someone's guide about it. As a final tip for this video, so it doesn't get too long, I have to mention that you shouldn't feel too bad if you get zeroed. Of course, if you forgot to use a bubble and someone killed all your troops, it's not the best feeling in the world, I get it. But after all, it's a game where troops are meant to die. So if you get zeroed, just start working towards training new troops and make sure to have a bubble and a protector when going offline next time. Of course, if you got zeroed in a battle while fighting, it's still not the nicest thing, but again, you can rebuild and also think on what you can improve for the next time you're fighting. So that was all for this video. If you want me to make something like a second part or look at some of the topics in depth, just let me know. And I hope you enjoyed, and until next time.